If someone asks you how you're doing right now as a family caregiver, you probably say something like, I'm fine. You probably also know that that's not entirely true. You're tired in a way that sleep doesn't really fix, right? You forget appointments, you snap at your spouse over nothing, you stop doing things that you used to enjoy. You're working full time and you're caring for your parent on top of it, right? You haven't seen your friends in months, your doctor's appointments probably canceled, postponed, forgotten, right? Like this isn't just being tired. This is called caregiver burnout. And the research is showing, definitively even, that this is a medical emergency. According to a Place for Moms 2026 Caregiver Burnout Report, and this is based on the survey that they did, more than 3/4 of family caregivers are experiencing feelings of burnout, right? Many describe it as a weekly or even daily occurrence at this point. And in the Family Caregiver Alliance, it actually reports that family caregivers have a 63% higher mortality rate than non-caregivers of the same age. Let me say that again. Caring for your aging parent without adequate support can and is literally shortening your life. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what the 2026 research actually shows about caregiver burnout. I also want to talk through the 7 signs that might mean that you've crossed from stress into full-on burnout. And then I want to touch on 3 other things that I haven't seen other videos that they kind of address this, right? One, why this hits the woman and the sandwich generation a lot harder. 2, the actual medical consequences attached to this. And then lastly, the 4 recovery layers that actually work, right? Including when you might need to take a step back entirely. Listen, I spent a lot of time doing some research, looking up some statistics. I've been talking to a lot of people, getting some firsthand testimonies. And that's what really prompted me to make a video like this. Listen, this video is for you. Stick around and watch, okay? Cool. So if this is your first time here, my name is Winston Nwanne. I'm currently studying for my certified and long-term care designation, my Georgia life insurance license, and I'm in the process of acquiring an assisted living community right now. So trust me, I am deep in this world every single day. The operational side, the financial side, and of course the human side. And if you're caring for your aging parents or you're planning ahead for your own care, I want you to hit that subscribe button. I truly believe we're building something special here. We're building a community of people who refuse to be blindsided by the care system, okay? Now, quick thing before we get into this. I'm not your doctor or your therapist. This is education on what the research actually is showing. If you're in a crisis right now, please, please, please see a licensed professional in your area. Okay, cool? Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the scale of this problem, because according to the 2025 AARP report, 63 million Americans are now family caregivers. Okay, that's actually 1 in 5 adults in this country. Now, when you pair that with the fact that more than 3/4 of caregivers are experiencing feelings of burnout, and that 64% of caregivers are working full-time or part-time jobs in addition to caring for an elderly loved one, and also the fact that nearly half of the members of this class are the sandwich generation, right? Which means that they're also caring for children or grandchildren under 18. Okay, it kind of makes sense now, right? Why that there's this epidemic of caregiver burnout, right? As a matter of fact, 30% of caregivers, they said that they began caregiving feeling completely unprepared for it. And then 54% of caregivers, they actually cite and say that they wish that they had a care plan sooner, that they wish that they started doing something, started planning, started making preparations for what that might look like earlier. Trust me, this is not a rare problem. This is not like a rare occurrence, right? This is the modern American family, and something needs to be addressed about it. Let's think about it. Like, logically, something needs to be done about this problem if 63 million people are potentially experiencing it. Okay. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to talk about the 7 signs that might mean that you've crossed from stress into burnout, because not everyone feeling stressed is burned out. Okay. Stress can be intense, but it can also still be healthy. Burnout is different. It's an entirely different classification. Okay. Here's what burnout actually looks like. Sign 1 is going to be exhaustion, and not just any exhaustion, but exhaustion that sleep doesn't necessarily fix. Like, for example, you're going to sleep 8 hours. You're going to wake up just as tired. This isn't physical tiredness alone. It's literally your nervous system feeling depleted and shutting down. You'll also see that with sign 2, which is emotional numbness. Okay, this is when you stop feeling feelings that you used to feel. So joy, sadness, excitement, frustration, everything's flat. This is also your nervous system shutting down, trying to protect you. Okay. The third thing is resentment. A lot of the time, and this one's hard to admit, you start feeling resentment towards the person that you're caring for. This is universal amongst burned out caregivers. Okay. Even though you love your parent, you can still resent them sometimes. That resentment is not a moral failure. It's a symptom. It's something that needs to be caught and dealt with early. Sign 4, it's withdrawal from your own life. So if you stop calling your friends, you stop going to church, you stop doing the things that make you you. Okay, the caregiver role, it tends to consume everything. And this one, it's really, really big, especially in Black and brown communities. I want y'all to watch out for that, especially. Sign 5 is physical health decline. So if you start taking on new aches, if you're putting on weight or losing weight, if you're losing hair, you start breaking out on your back, on your face, skin issues, headaches, stomach aches, your gut is all of that. Listen, your body is always keeping the score, okay? The 6th thing is cognitive fog. So this is when you start forgetting appointments. You walk into a room and forget why. You sit down at your desk and you're not sure what the name of the website to type in as well. Right? This is real and it has a name. It's called caregiver cognitive impairment. And then the last sign is called catastrophic thinking. Essentially, every phone call from your parent is bad news. You can't relax even when nothing's wrong. Everything is just so dragged out in your mind. It's the end of the world all the time, right? And this one, I've seen this one show up in some people. This one can be stressful as well. But listen, if you saw yourself in 3 or more of these signs, chances are you're not stressed. Chances are you're actually just burned out. And that distinction matters because the response is going to be different. Okay. Now let's talk about who carries this load and why. So, women almost disproportionately carry significantly more load when it comes to caregiving than men. And I'm not 100% sure if that's just attributed to the maternal nature of women in general, or sometimes men are more willing to pay or make sure it happens rather than be the one to actually roll up them sleeves and do it. But this is just the case. And when you think about when you think about hands-on care as well, it also disproportionately affects women. So they're actually more likely to report that caregiving has a negative impact on their personal well-being, their emotional health, and their financial situation. And then this one shouldn't surprise anybody, but lower income caregivers, they carry an even heavier burden. As a matter of fact, 40% of lower income adults who have aging parents or spouses or partners, they are caregivers, compared to 16% of upper income adults. So essentially, if you can't afford to pay someone, you become that someone. And the sandwich generation, they get it from both sides, right? If your kids are under 18 and your parent is over 75, you're often providing care across 3 generations at once, right? You're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your kids, and you're taking care of your parents. And in many cultures, including mine, specifically, my culture is Igbo, so I'm Nigerian. There's this deep expectation that your family is going to take care of you, and family takes care of family, period. I grew up on that. I believe in it. But I also know that the American context makes that very, very difficult. We don't have multi-generational households like our grandparents or our parents did. Like, we don't have the village here, right? We don't have neighbors who can step in. If you're in this sandwich generation, the reality is you're probably feeling really crushed. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with that. The situation itself is unstable by design. And if you're sitting here, you're recognizing yourself in everything that I'm talking about, I want you to take a breath, because trust me, you're not alone in this. I also want you to take our assessment. Like, we built this free 2-minute care assessment for you. It's going to help you figure out exactly where your parent is on the care needs spectrum and what level of outside help might change everything for you. So here's what I want you to do. Grab the link in the description. Look, like, knowing what actually is needed is the first step out of this crisis, okay? Now, I want to talk about the medical consequences that nobody talks about. This is the part that doesn't get covered in most of the caregiver content, because I truly believe that caregiver burnout is not just emotional. And I think the data backs that up too. Okay. So research consistently shows that family caregivers, especially those that are providing like high intensity care, they are going to experience higher rates of cardiovascular disease, hypertension, immune dysfunction, and clinical depression. Okay. Over 50% of family caregivers who are providing substantial care, they report symptoms consistent with clinical depression. And I already told you that there's a 63% higher mortality rate. Where do you think this is coming from? This is coming from years of accumulated stress, years of sleep deprivation, neglected self-care, and physiological strain, okay? Caregivers, especially women, they're more likely to delay their own preventative medical care. Think about it. You typically miss mammograms, you miss colonoscopies, you miss doctor's appointments, you call off the cardiac screenings. And then when the caregiver finally gets sick, then the whole system collapses, right? This is what makes it a medical emergency. It's not just about feeling bad. It's about a slow, measurable decline in the caregiver's own health. Now, the 4 recovery layers that actually work, okay? Layer 1, sleep. Before you think about anything else, I want you to sleep. Burnout cannot recover from depletion. So if sharing nighttime care with your parent is destroying your sleep, this is the first thing that you need to outsource. You should be hiring an overnight aide a few nights a week. You can bring in a sibling for the weekend. You can use respite care, et cetera, et cetera. You literally cannot heal in deprivation. So you need your sleep. The second layer, you need to start using respite care, okay? This is the most underused tool in caregiving. Respite care is a short-term professional care that it essentially gives the family caregiver a break. There's a couple different types of respite care. There's in-home respite care. That's where a paid caregiver will come into your home a few hours a week, just so you can leave the house, relax, do whatever you need to do. Then there's adult day services. This is when your parent goes out during the day, at least gets you 6 to 8 hours back, okay? And then there's short-term residential respite. And then this is where your parent stays in an assisted living community for a week or two while you recover, while you take a vacation, while you do what you need to do to maintain, okay? Respite care is not a luxury. It is a medical maintenance. It is medical maintenance. It is medical maintenance. I want to drill that into your head. Respite is not luxury. It is medical maintenance, okay? The third layer is you need to start setting up boundaries with your family, okay? I think most burnt out caregivers, they're also the family member who typically can't say no, right? They're the sibling that lives close to mom or dad. They're the one that is good with mom or good with dad. They're the one that everyone typically defers decisions to. And if that's you, you have to start saying no. You have to delegate. You have to ask for help, even from siblings who aren't necessarily going to volunteer their time. Okay. A family meeting with clear written responsibilities for every adult family member is one of the most powerful interventions that there is. Now, the last layer, obvious, you need to start taking care of yourself better. You need to see a doctor. You need to see a therapist, take walks, eat real food, drink water, take your vitamins. You are the most important asset in your parents' care plan. If you collapse, the whole system collapses under you. Now, when might you need to step back entirely? Sometimes, and I want to say this gent. The right move sometimes is not more support. Sometimes the right move is a fundamental change in the care arrangement. Think about this. If your parents' needs have outgrown what the home can actually provide, or if your own health is in an active decline, if your marriage, if your kids' well-being, all of that is being damaged, it may be time for your parent to move into an assisted living or memory care facility. This is not a failure. This is not abandonment. It's recognizing that loving someone sometimes means getting them the level of care that you physically cannot provide while you're also taking care of yourself, your family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In my culture, in Igbo culture, I mentioned already, there's a deep expectation that family takes care of family, period. And if you are not in a financial position to outsource that care or in a physical position to do that care yourself, I truly believe that the next best option is finding a community of people, trained caregivers that can actually provide what you physically cannot. Just because you love your parent doesn't mean you're going to be the best dentist. right? Just because you love your parent doesn't mean you're going to be the best tax professional for them, right? Just because you love your parent doesn't mean you're going to be the best caregiver for them. Okay. This is wisdom. Please listen. Okay. Let's land this. Caregiver burnout. Once again, it is a medical emergency. It is not a personality failure. Okay. More than 75% of family caregivers, they experience it. 63% higher mortality rates if you are a caregiver. So you need to take care of yourself. Look out for the 7 signs: exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, emotional numbness, resentment, withdrawal, physical health decline, cognitive fog, catastrophic thinking. The 4 recovery layers, I want you to layer in starting today. You need to sleep more. You need to leverage respite care. You need to set firmer boundaries, and you need to take care of your own health care. And then sometimes the right move is to change the arrangement entirely. So here's what I want you to do next. Okay. Take our free 2-minute care assessment. It'll help you figure out exactly where your parent is on the care needs spectrum and what level of outside help would let you breathe again. The link is in the description. Go grab it and go take that quiz. Okay. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you also cannot pour from a broken one. So please get help now before your body starts sending louder and louder signals. Once again, I'm Winston Nwanne. I want you guys to plan early, plan smart, and most importantly, take care of each other. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.